Okay. All right. So what is your biggest holdback or your biggest struggles in the area of connecting with other people? Would you say?
I think that you can connect with other people, but in a business like this, you don't want to feel like you're bugging somebody or inconveniencing them, or like, oh my gosh, here she is again, doing that thing again. That's what I would say.
I love that you shared that, Jen, because I feel like that is probably everyone on here and almost every brand new coach for sure. And even when you've been in the business for a while, none of us want to be that person because we all have been bugged by other people who do it wrong. So I'm really glad that you shared that. We're definitely going to talk about that tonight.
I have the hardest time when it says, which I'm actually at that point right now, like find niche or find your groups, find people you like to interact with, like, and go, it's like, go interact with them on Instagram somewhere.
Yeah.
It feels super nebulous. Like, I even had to ask my son today, like, what do I like that I should go find people that like it too? You know, I don't know. It just gets so weird. It just feels like a black hole to me for some reason. Like, how do we actually cross that bridge?
Would you say that it's more of like identifying what your unique characteristics are that you like in people, like what your niche is? Is that the hard part? Or figuring out how, once you identify that, how you actually connect with those people?
It's a bit of both. Because
Okay.
it's kind of like, okay, do you go through hashtags? Do you just go start searching accounts? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They say find, you know, interest-based groups or something
Mhm.
on, and I'm like, blank.
Okay. Great question.
I'd say like same with what Jennifer said about like you don't want to be one of those people who are just constantly writing the same person or something, but on the way of like there are so many people who have done that already, and I feel like people are sometimes like, oh, it's Beachbody, because they have that negative from other people who maybe have just done it, not genuinely wrote them, I'd say.
Right.
Like just kind of that like default right. And so it's hard to separate ourselves from those just people who just send out the default and not are really trying to get a connection, I guess, if that makes sense.
Okay. So worried about that when people find out you're with Beachbody, they're gonna Sarah, are you joining us again? Okay, just making sure. Worried about that they are going to wrap you into a bad past experience that they've had and think that you're just like the other people. And so they're just going to kind of write you off if they find out that you're with Beachbody.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Guys, we have 3 Sarahs on the call. Can I just acknowledge that? Sarah Lopez, praying for your baby, your sweet baby that's due here so soon. Sarah Stoy and Sarah Holland. I'm going to start calling you guys by your last names.
Sorry about that, Jess. I was having technical difficulties today.
Oh, no, you're good.
But I wanted to say, I think this is one of the biggest things that most easily becomes overwhelming for me. And in the past, it's been for a variety of reasons, either like lack of organization in connecting with people and kind of continuing those connections going forward, not just like connecting once and then, you know, falling off. And also sometimes because of trying to do too many different approaches at once, almost like it's more the how that gets overwhelming for me sometimes with this aspect.
Okay. So lack of organization and how do you track who you're actually connecting with?
Yeah.
To stay consistent in those relationships.
Yeah. And then kind of like what Krista was saying, like I've tried the group thing before, and then I'm trying hashtags on Instagram, and then I'm trying in person, and like all these like different panels, I guess, which then, because especially when you combine that with lack of organization, it gets overwhelming.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, Sarah Lopez, I just saw yours. Sorry, Krista and Sarah Lopez, I just saw the chat about your prayer requests, so I will absolutely be writing those down. Hold on. Anything else on struggles with the connecting element? Okay. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I just have a few slides, not a lot, a few slides. We're going to go through this, and the questions that aren't answered through our conversation, then I wrote down all 4 of them. I want to address them at the end. Is that okay? Okay, let me find, oh gosh, I did not pull this up. Let me pull my slides up really quick. As I'm doing that, just so you guys know, I posted in our team pages that we officially have team shirts for Summit, but they're not, they don't have Summit on them, if that makes sense. They just are designed for our team. So anyone, any of you, any of your customers, any of your clients can order them. I think they're pretty cool, and they definitely were designed with kind of our team niche in mind. Shout out to Jamie for making this happen. She messaged me and was like, hey, we need to get our team shirts designed in time for Summit. And I ended up finding a really cool person to do them. So the link is in our team page. And if anyone has the availability and wants to paste it in the chat while we're going through this, that would be awesome. Okay, let me share my screen. My computer's being slow, of course. Okay, here we are. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so connecting, to make this smaller. Things on my end are so different. I need to make this bigger. Thank you for your patience. Okay. All right, so remember so let me first, as you all have shared your doubts or insecurities or the things that are holding you back, please know that those 4 things you shared are the most common thing. I would say the 4 things that hold most people back. And at the end of the day, we have to decide in life in general, right? Like in marriage, in parenting, in the world that we're living in, on social media in general, we know that there are struggles, and we know there are things that will slow us down or get in our way or tempt us to quit or fail. We have to always remember the other side of it too. Why are we doing this? Why are we here? So this is why I had put this kind of subtitle here, that my goal is to be a light and shine bright, period. My goal is to be a light and shine bright through every single conversation, whether or not you feel like you might be bugging people, whether or not they've had a bad experience with people in Beachbody before, whether or not they are in your niche, whether or not you are really organized or not. And I'm speaking from someone, as Sarah Holland definitely knows this, I am not an organized human. But whether or not, regardless, at the end of the day, if I can be a light and shine bright to other people, I will, while it may not be efficient, I will still mark it off as a win, because what's the alternative? I don't connect and I don't show up at all. And so to me, I see that as a win. And so for you, you have to be able to write down and identify, what is it that I'm doing this for? And that's what we're going to go into this very first slide here. It's actually the next one, is remembering that. So last week we talked about attraction and marketing. So remember that we're in the connection stage, the second step, assuming that you are doing the first. It will make the second step much easier. If you are not doing any marketing, if you are not sharing your coach life at all, it's going to make the connect and the invite part super unsuccessful and really difficult. So you have to be sharing your life, whether it's on social media or off social media. You have to be doing that so people know a little bit more about you and want to develop a relationship with you. So remember that, and that you're doing that with consistency, showing up for your ideal client or coach. We went over kind of an exercise in that last week. So if you missed that, I highly recommend watching the recording, because we went through certain questions that will helped us all identify who is it I'm talking to every day. What are their biggest struggles? What are their biggest goals? Like, what are their biggest problems? And how can I be a solution to that? That's how I'm showing up in my marketing, whatever it is, whether it's a reel or a quote or in my stories or whatever, I'm showing up for this person and these problems that they have. Okay. This is the part I was referring to. So it's so important before you do any business activities. And I will say this over and over again, no matter what topic that we're talking about, you have to get in the mood. You have to be in the right mindset. You have to be connected with your vision and why the heck you're showing up, why you're trying to connect with people on a silly little app with all of these algorithms that don't make any sense and they're constantly changing. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Always do that first and write that vision down every single day before you sit down to do any kind of work activities. So remember that people follow you on Instagram, or they friend request you or accept your friend request on Facebook because they want to know more about you and are open to having a relationship with you. So you're not just like grabbing random strangers on the street and trying to connect with them. These are people who have, in a sense, given you their consent or their permission and have expressed somewhat interest. I guess it's like the swipe right or whatever concept, to be able for you to reach out to them and get to know them more and introduce yourself, that kind of stuff. So remember that when you're worried, like, what are they going to think about me? What, like, am I being really rude? Am I bugging them? They can unfollow you and unfriend request you. And if they do, don't take it personally, because sure as heck, there's a lot of people that are not my tribe that I don't want to work with, who do not want to work with me. I talk about God all the time. And so the temple of Satan, who I just pissed off, they're not going to be my ideal client. And that is okay, right? If they unfriend me because I offended them with the Bible verse, that is fantastic. So please remember not to take any kind of rejection of you trying to share a gift with people or trying to shine a light. If they're appalled or insulted or don't want anything to do with you because of that, they're not worth pouring into. They actually just saved you time of you trying to get to know someone who's just not your people, because we all can agree that not everyone is going to be your cup of tea, and you're not going to be everyone else's cup of tea. And we have to, as adults, as parents, and as coaches and business owners, that is so important for us to understand. So important. If this is something that you struggle with in the people pleasing area, there are some fantastic books out there. Go for No is a really good one that talks about this topic. So again, if you have to be your own advocate. It's the hardest part about entrepreneurship is our school system is literally created, I think we talked about this a little bit about this last week, to make us good employees, for people to tell us what to do and when to do it and to clock in, to clock out. Well, entrepreneurship is like you become a butterfly and you could do whatever, however, whenever, wherever you want. But our brains struggle with that because we don't have structure. And structure is essential to keep us on track, right? And so just remember that. Oh my gosh, I totally lost what I was going to say, my final point of that. Anyways, okay, so when you are sitting down to work, remember, I said that word like 70 times right there. Not to take offense when people don't want anything to do with you. Okay, now, this is something I just kind of wrote up. So when you're getting in the headspace of why am I connecting with people, this is something I wrote up for myself. I highly recommend you writing something down for yourself that resonates with you. I believe that more people need to know about the total solution I've found and experience the positive community within my team. I am a source of encouragement, healthy resources, empowerment, and I am dedicated to shine bright in a dark world, whether people want the gift I have to give or not, period. And if I say that before every single time that I sit down to engage with people or connect with people, what that statement right there removes any expectations that I have that it will turn into something else. And I will say, in my opinion, not everyone thinks this, but I think it's very important for us to connect with people with no expectations. No expectations of them becoming your client, no expectations of them doing anything. You are there to serve someone else and to make them feel loved and encouraged and compliment them. In the connection phase, we talk nothing about Beachbody or what we do necessarily. Like, we're not inviting them. We are just connecting with them, and all of the energy and focus is on them. Remember that not all of these connections are going to turn into your clients or people joining your team, and that's okay. However, many of them may become referrals where they know someone else. That's happened to me so many times. People have referred people to me. Past coaches who quit with me and gone on to do something else have referred their friends to me who wanted to order Shakeology or do a 3-day refresh. And if you continue to stay connected with people, that's all that networking is just connecting with people and finding out how you can support each other. Outside of the Beachbody world, that is very normal and very common, and people in every single successful business network with other businesses so that they can support each other. This is no different. In order to develop trust, I wrote this down and I forgot to put it in here. People do business with people they know, like, and trust, right? How many of you do business with someone just because you know them, you like them, and you trust them? All of us. Like, we really want to support our friends' businesses, especially if it's something that we really like and could be of use to us. The same is true for you. People are going to want to support your business because they know you, they like you, and they trust you. Well, how do you get to develop trust with complete strangers? You have to show up consistently and show your journey. Do you know how many people, many of you, I was going to use like one of you, but really all of you have developed trust with complete strangers because of your consistency? Do you know how many people are following Brooke and her journey, are inspired by her and trust her because she's showing up even when it's hard? And she shows up even when she has a weight gain day, and she shows up with her perspective, and she shows up teaching us how the old Brooke would have thought or done this, but the new Brooke is doing this, this, and this. That's adding value and inspiration to people's lives, and it's developing trust. That is something, and you don't have to lose 100 pounds to do that. We can all do that through our own journeys. So I just wanted to make sure that we all understand, like, the point of connecting with people is first and foremost to serve other people and be a light in their lives. End of story. Second of all, it's to develop trust in people, because when people trust you, they're going to want to support your business. And then it's also to develop potential collaborations and referrals. I don't know if I think some of you have had companies reach out to you and say, hey, will you collaborate with me on this? I used to get free, till I just completely dropped the ball, free Fabletics every single month from Fabletics for just sharing their brand. There's many companies that want people like you to show their brand because you are living in a lifestyle wellness business. So that is the point of connecting. That is super important. We can never forget that. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about strategy. And like Sarah Holland mentioned, there is definitely a variety of strategies that you can do. I am putting a couple out there because here's my true belief. If you're doing something, it's better than nothing. And most of us are doing nothing because we're overwhelmed on what to do, or we have no idea what to do. And so we're just not doing anything. So I wrote down, I actually listened to 4 or 5 videos on YouTube about what other coaches are teaching in the connection topic. And I asked my 5 to 8 star group, and they had just said, like, I just really encourage my coaches to be genuine, like, be a light, and serve other people. That's what I tell them. I don't really have a strategy. And so these are things I've learned along the years that I think do help when it comes to an actual system. That when you sit down and you're like, okay, where do I start? First and foremost, remember in every message you send, be genuinely interested in learning about other people. If you in your head are thinking, I want to be friends with this person so that they buy a challenge pack, you are not in the right headspace. And this is not, I don't ever want you to have that type of approach, because we all have been messaged that way. Haven't we all? Like, raise your hand if you got a message from someone in your DMs and you're like, oh my gosh, don't tell me my kids are cute. I know you're going to sell me something. Or don't tell me that I should be a model and then ask me to model your mascara. Like, I don't know you at all, you know? So remember that this sounds so silly, but people feel your energy. And if you're afraid you're coming across wrong, you might come across wrong. So flip it on its head. Whatever you're afraid of, flip it around and write down on a piece of paper the absolute opposite statement. So instead of I'm afraid I'm gonna bug or annoy them, write down the opposite of that. I'm so excited. I'm gonna change this person's life from this message. Because it's a choice. Isn't it it's so crazy? And I am not perfect at this either, but it's genuinely a choice what we choose to put in our heads. If we feel like we're going to bug people or if we're going to change their life, it is the exact same potential that one or the other. In fact, I have helped more people change their lives than people tell me that I'm bugging them by 100-fold because of messaging and connecting with people. So if I was looking at statistics, I would be more statistically accurate to say, man, I'm going to change this person's life right now. I'm just going to do it right now on this Instagram app. Get ready, feel my energy. Here's my message. And people will feel it when you message them that way. So it's very cool to test this out for like 30 days and see what happens in your responses. Okay, now that we talked about that, let's talk really quick about some Facebook strategy. A very simple thing to do is to open up birthdays. So on your phone, if you can't, you can do this either on your phone or on your computer. Excuse me. Go to Facebook. And then this looks I did this on my laptop before. Go to your menu, go to your friends. I wonder if this is going to work the same. Of course it's not. Okay, maybe it's not there. Go to, I did this on my desktop and it was different. Who knows?
My notifications on my Facebook will bring up birthdays.
Does
If
it?
I go every day I'll look and it says it's so-and-so's birthday today. Send them a wish or whatever.
That's fantastic. I have all my notifications off, and that's probably why I don't have that. I'm trying to. This is so weird how different this is on. Does anyone know how to find birthdays on the phone on the Facebook app? I'm looking. Well, I know you can do it on your desktop. Let's see. Let me try one more thing and then I will. Okay, guys, Facebook's smarter than I am. Duh. Okay, in the search bar, type in birthdays and it'll say see upcoming birthdays.
I was just going to tell you that, Jess. I found that myself too.
You are so smart. Okay, so again, remember you're going in with the genuine heart of, I want to wish this person a happy birthday. Maybe it's a GIF. Maybe you write a heartfelt message. Even if they're a stranger, like it can never hurt to wish people a birthday. So go through and take a few minutes and wish people happy birthday. That is one simple strategy. You are connecting with them. Do I feel like you need to write these people down? Not necessarily. I personally only write down people I'm engaged in a conversation with. And you never know if that touch point could lead to another one or them looking on your page, so on and so forth. So that's the first one. The next one is in groups. So I highly recommend you joining groups that have nothing to do with Beachbody and have things to do with your common interests or your hobbies or your location. So like if I open my groups right now, I have Rathdrum Community News because I live in the city of Rathdrum and we have a community Facebook page. And I post value in there and I comment on other people's thing in there, not because I'm trying to recruit them, but because it's genuinely helpful. But I could go into the Rathdrum page and I could click on the members and I can go through that list and I could see a simple way to do this. I do kind of judge a book by its cover. So if it's a mom with her husband or a woman with her husband or a mom with her kids in their profile picture, then they're more likely to be my people than I don't really recruit or talk to guys because it just feels weird, right? So it's just an easy way to connect with someone. And on Facebook, when you connect with them, I'm going to get to this point in a second. But as far as where to find people that you are like-minded with, in these groups is a great place. So another example, I'm part of Freedom Mamas of North Idaho. So we have a lot of the same morals and core values. Core values are the areas that you want to connect with people because we're all different, right? We all have slightly different likes and dislikes and personalities. But if you can connect in your core values, that's what makes you more likely to be long-term friends. And at the end of the day, you want to have long-term friends that you're going to be able to be okay sharing a hotel room with. Like that's really helpful. So think of it in those terms and look at your groups that way. I'm trying to find another one. Here's another one, Crunchy Moms of North Idaho. Like that's perfect. North Idaho Homesteaders. So these we're similar in our location and in the things that we're passionate about to the point where it's in a Facebook group name. Homesteading, Crunchy Moms, and Freedom Fighters. Those are things that are very like in the definition of my name would be in there. So ask yourself in the definition of your name. So like, excuse me, Krista, since you brought this topic up too, and something you're struggling with, homeschool mom, like that's something that's huge that not many people do. And especially you could be like homeschool mom towards empty nesters, like anything in that area, entrepreneur, like you guys are business owners. You also are a yoga instructor. You also like, what are the things, but you're a holy yoga instructor. So like that would be such a cool, like that's a very niche thing. And you love Jesus with all your heart and you're a cancer survivor. So, and I'm just throwing things out, but things like that are very unique to you. Like I am not a cancer survivor, so I wouldn't be able to speak to that, but you can. And so there's things about you that you can genuinely say, I've been there, or you can say, this really helped me when I was there, or just speak and add value that's going to develop trust with these unique groups of people versus people who haven't lived that life or who don't have those similar common core values, if that makes sense. People within your church, that's another great place, things like that. Okay, so the last place on Facebook I would literally look is you can go A to Z. It's a great way to also screen out people you don't want to be friends with as much anymore. I post a lot of potentially controversial stuff in today's day and age. And so if I lose a lot of friends that way. It's like a cleansing, and that's okay. So when I go through my friends, I can say like, oh, I definitely don't want to be friends with you anymore because you're posting about pro Antifa things, like that's very dramatic, but it's a way that you could go through and connect with people by doing this strategy. This is one strategy that you can use on Facebook. When you find someone that you would like to connect with, you go to their profile on Facebook, you find a post that you like it, and then you compliment them, and then you ask them a question. And that could be on the same post, that could be you like and compliment them on a post, and then you message them a question. And when you direct message them privately a question, you have control over that conversation, and you are putting yourself, you are showing that you care and that you're interested in them and you want to know more about it. So Sarah Stoy, if you have a mom, like if there's a mom's group of Grangeville and there's a mom who posted something that intrigued you, and you can compliment them, and then you can message them and be like, hey, I'm Sarah, I just wanted to say hi. And I would encourage everyone to use their name too. So you could say, hey, Heather, I'm Sarah. I loved your post that you just shared. Your kids are so cute. I don't know about you, but I'm really struggling with this weather. Like, this is absolutely crazy. I'm curious what you do to keep your moods high when we have no sunshine. And then when you put them in a place where they can actually give you some advice of something that maybe they know or relate to you on a similar struggle, what have you done there? You've already established, like if someone asks you that, it would be like, oh, someone cares, someone identifies, I want to be friends with this person. And that trust relationship begins, and you never know where that conversation is going to end up going. Does that make sense? That kind of flow of how this could work? Okay, cool. So that's Facebook. If that's all that you do, awesome. You don't have to do anything more than that. I would personally set a goal, like a weekly goal that's in alignment with your business goal. So if you have big business goals, then set a higher number of people you want to connect with on Facebook every week. I personally prefer weekly goals versus daily goals because we are all super busy and it's really easy to fall short of a daily goal, if I'm being honest, in a busy life. I think we all can relate to that. Okay, so now let's talk about Instagram. Instagram is the platforms are a little bit different. The scrolling is a little bit different. Looking at someone's grid versus their Facebook profile is a little bit different. So I put a slightly different strategy there, which you could use or not. It doesn't matter to me. I recommend, due to the algorithm, trying to aim for maybe 20 story replies. If you can do that 3 times, like at 20 story replies a day, maybe 3 times a week, it's better than nothing. It's better than 3. If you need to cut it down to 10, that's totally fine too. But when you do that, more people are going to see your stuff that you're posting because you're staying consistent over here with the attraction and the marketing component. And Instagram will drive more people to your posts. And it shows people that you care. Like, it's really nice when you get reactions on your stories. So other people like to get that too. And then what do? They want to go see who you are that paid attention or commented on their stuff. So 20 story replies is kind of like 20 direct messages in a sense, but it makes it so easy because you're replying to something that they're interested in about, that they showed you. They post things on their stories because they want people to see them and react to it. Like, let's be honest, at the end of the day, that's why we do things on the silly little app, is because we want people to see them and we want a response. It triggers the endorphins in our brain. And so if we understand that and how it works, we just play along. So that's why I put that first. And then the next one is the 5-3-1 method. Let's say you do your 20 story replies, and then one of those people that you replied to, you notice you have a lot in common with them, or somehow they fit into your niche. It's someone you want to connect with and potentially develop a relationship with. You go to their profile and you like 5 of their posts. You comment on 3 of them, comment or compliment them on 3 of them, and then you can message them about 1 of them, or message them about something they're interested in or that they've shared about. If you've already, never mind, erase what I just said. So this, when you get into the groove of it, it really doesn't take that long to connect with people. But I will say that the most important part is remembering why you're doing it. You're not doing this for Success Club points. You're not doing this for any other reason in this phase other than to make this person feel loved and encouraged. And if you're doing that, by the end of your connection period, you were successful. And I want to encourage you to celebrate that as a win. As a coach, part of your job is literally to empower and encourage and inspire other people. And this is one way that we do that. And our whole team call today is about how to more effectively and more consistently love on, inspire, and encourage other people. Because when you do that consistently, it's giving people a glimpse of what it's going to be like to be around all of us, where we can all do that for each other. And then teach them how to be that for other people as well. Was this helpful? Okay. Again, if you just do this, it's going to go so far in your business, even though there's other strategies and stuff. Okay, I heard this but right before jumping on this call, and I wanted to share it with you. If you want to increase your rate of success, double your amount of failure. So all the fears that you have, all the fears that we have, I am not immune from them. All the fears that we have, and if I do this, the bad might happen. The only way to learn is to experience a lot more rejection, a lot more awkward conversations, a lot more unfollows, a lot more haters on social media, a lot more of that. Now, obviously, none of us want that. None of us do. However, it's how we learn. How do you, like, why are we more relaxed and confident by the third kid? Because the first two put you through the ringer and you failed a lot. And so, now with the third kid, some things to do differently, right? Look at any other area of your life. How do babies learn how to walk? By falling a lot of times. Look at baseball, professional baseball. Some of the highest paid batters have a success rate of 3 out of 10 times they get on base. That means 7 times they fail. Why do we put so much pressure on ourselves as coaches to have a 1000% batting record? Because it does not happen for any other business. We don't put that kind of pressure on ourselves in other areas of life. Yet somehow when it comes to this, we literally stop ourselves before we even start because we imagine the worst case scenario. What are people going to think? What if I fill in the blank? And I am not in any way picking on anyone because I've had all of these thoughts myself. I've just been in this and had to work through it for 6+ years now. So I'm on kind of a little bit of the other hump of, what if I fail? What if they think I'm salesy? And I've learned or what if they don't? It's a choice, like we talked about in the beginning. What if they think you're awesome? What if no one's ever invested in them before? What if they're in a very dark place in their life right now and they don't want to live anymore? And your message gave them hope, because I promise you that has happened so many times, even within this own team, and absolutely within my friend network within Beachbody. People have spoken on stage that said, I had a gun in the closet I was ready to use the same night that I got an invite from this random person to be a part of their support group. And I decided, what if I give it a try? And now they're a Beachbody coach and in a supportive community and love and life. People are not going to reach out to you, most likely. It's got to be us reaching out to them. It's got to be us reaching the people who need us the most and breathing belief in them, because we all have been in a place in our lives where we didn't believe in ourselves. And that may be where you're at right now. And that's okay, because we all have those moments in our life. And success is not linear. You're not going to be successful one time, like become an Emerald coach or hit Success Club one time or sign up one person and then just coast the rest of the time. You're probably going to drop your rank. You're probably going to have someone return Shakeology. Beachbody is going to take money from you before you go to your next high. And then there's something that's going to dip again. And then you're going to keep pushing through and you're going to learn. You're going to your next high. And that's how this business works. And I apologize if I have not done a better job of clearly articulating that, because I think a lot of us come into this business with all the hopes and the dreams and the vision that are absolutely possible, but they never happen easily or without a lot of work and tenacity. But the most beautiful part of our job, in my opinion, is that it requires, to be successful, requires us to really step into the best version of ourselves. And that in and of itself is such a beautiful reward. If I never made any money with this business, which you guys know, like how freeing it's been for my family, for us to be able to move here because of Beachbody 100%. And for my husband to be able to quit his law enforcement job and to go into open his own business was only possible because of Beachbody. It's what sustains us right now. But even if we didn't have that, I am such a better mom and wife and person, and so much more bold and courageous because of being a coach and what personal development has taught me, and what being a part of this community has taught me. And because of the times I've fallen on my face, and the courage that's given me, and the strength that's given me, and the belief that it's given me to be able to live life abundantly instead of just what's kind of pushed on me by expectations of society, that there is more that's outside the box that I ever really thought of possible. And that is what you're offering people when you're inviting them to be a part of our team and of this community and of the healthy habits that we've learned. Okay, I think this is the last slide that I have. Yeah. So I wanted to give you just a quick example of what the successful transition looks like. And it's very simple. It could be, and is most commonly, overcomplicated, but it should not be. Here's a successful transition of people joining you. Oh, I heard this quote. I wanted to start with this. This was by Trina Gray in a call I was listening to, she's extremely successful, but she said that people are joining you within a community, whether that's the transformation studio or your bod group or a Facebook group, whatever it is, they're joining the community and they're getting into it. They're getting a total solution pack to join it. And I think that perspective is really helpful too. They're joining this healthy lifestyle. They're joining this challenge you're doing. They're joining the group, and they're getting the pack, the tools, the running shoes to do a marathon, the bike to become a cycling person. That's the tools they need to join it. So the steps go, you attract, oh, my nose is so itchy, sorry. You attract your best friends with niche marketing, meaning every time that you get on social media or you talk to people, you're speaking to your best friends. You're not speaking to not offend people necessarily. Like, not that you have to be very controversial, but I'm just saying you're speaking to your best friends. What do your best friends need to hear right now? What are they going to relate to? You connect with them on a genuine level about life topics that you have in common, because you and your best friends have some things in common. They see you consistently showing up and showing your coach life, whether that's a 3-day refresh or your nutrition program or your weight loss goals, or your non-scale victories, or your community, or your team calls that you're on. These things that you're learning, your mindset things, your personal development, your morning routine, your daily routine, you're showing those things. People are going to connect with you on them and comment on them or ask you about it. And this is how you respond. Thanks for noticing. Want to do this with me? My coaching team does this, fill in the blank, whatever they comment on, just like this. And it's so simple. And next week, we're going to talk about inviting and how to invite people, but that's really all it needs to look like, is just to say, hey, thanks for noticing. Want to do it with me? If someone commented on me doing, I'm trying to think of a good example off the top of my head, but like on me doing a daily walk in the park in the mornings, and someone local commented on it and said, that's so awesome you're doing it. I wish I could do something like that. Awesome. Want to do it with me? If someone said, if I commented or showed about a massage therapist that got rid of this chronic pain I was having for forever, it costs money, right? There's an investment in it. And they commented and said, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. And they're local. And I said, thanks for noticing. You want her phone number? It's no different than those things, because we believe this will change people's lives when they do it. Right? That's why we're inviting and we're connecting with people. Thanks for noticing. Want to do it with me? Want to try it out? If they don't, okay, no problem. Thanks for noticing. And that's literally all that happens. You did not turn into a gorilla because they said no. Like, nothing bad is going to happen. You're not going to die. I promise you. So, okay. I'm going to go back. I know we're reaching the end of our time together. Hopefully, let me stop this share really quick. hopefully that was helpful somewhat. Let me go back to these questions really quick. Okay, so feeling like you are bugging or inconveniencing people. This is so common. I do not downplay that feeling, but also remember, my battery's gonna die. Hold on. I just saw it. It's like 4%. Okay, also remember, this is your perspective. And my life is never boring. My battery's gonna die. Ugh, goodness, it smells amazing. Okay, it's your perspective. Hi, sister. And if you go into your inbox or to connect with people, fearful of this, they will feel it. And so I highly recommend, if anyone's feeling this way, to always flip it around and say, I'm going to change this person's life. Go in expecting that. The same, I forgot my, hey Liam, there's a piece of paper on my desk. Can you go get it for me, please? The same goes for if people have had a bad experience with Beachbody. And I know this one well. No, can you get the paper on my desk, please? Yes, in my room. I had this feeling so hard in the beginning because of my background and being a nurse and being it for a long time in the holistic health coaching world. And I thought, thank you, bud. It's so loud. And please quiet. And knowing that some people were I knew people would judge me and say, really, with all your degrees and everything you did before, and now you're joining a network marketing company called Beachbody? Really? I knew that was going to happen. And I just had a decision to make. Like, was it worth it to me to do it anyways? And why did I, with my background, choose to join a network marketing company called Beachbody? And I had to answer that question. And then I learned it's my responsibility and it's my desire to change it. I want to change the stigma of what people think of a Beachbody coach. And that is it's an opportunity that I have, that we as a team have, and that each of you individually have. And it's a responsibility that I don't take lightly, because I think what we do is amazing and it genuinely does change people's lives. And unfortunately, people have had bad experiences. It's the same in real estate right now. Like, literally so much of this is the same. People don't like real estate agents because they can be so sleazy. The same with network marketing people. And so it's my responsibility to show people why I chose Beachbody and to educate people that way. So maybe do a video or do a bullet point or go on Canva and make like a graphic and say, this is why I chose this path in my career, or why I decided to be a coach, and write those things out for yourself and then share it with other people. And it really helps kind of flip the script on, I get it. I know people do this wrong, but this is why I chose it and why I do it right. And then it gives you something to talk about. And I promise you, if you make a video about that and you put it on YouTube, it will get a lot of views, and it's going to help your confidence level so much, because it's important that you know why is it different to you? What does set it apart from other network marketing things or even other health approaches out there? Because there are specifics that we do that are different. And then we talked a little bit, Krista, was that helpful, what I've shared about finding your niche and how to connect with those people? Okay. It really is, like, you can search hashtags on Instagram. You totally can. I prefer following similar accounts. So like, I follow a lot of the women from my church because I know that we have one of my core values in common. I follow women on the Freedom Fighters page because that's something I'm passionate about that we have in common. And then those are the people that I connect with. If that makes sense. Sarah Holland, lack of organization. You know, my friend, I don't really have words of wisdom for you here because my life is not organized. So I would say everyone is a little bit different in this. I'm still, to this day, a pen and paper person when it comes to organizing people. I have made so many Excel spreadsheets and never use them, ever. I never go back to them. And the idea of it is fantastic, but they don't work for me. So I'm actually thinking of going back to, it's in our Health Patriot Coach Collab page. When we did the 30 Worthy Business Challenge, do you remember that? And there was a page that had, I made like a prospects, like coach and a coach prospects, and then challenger prospects. I'm almost somebody. No. On the front page was like lines where you can write people's names down. I only write down, hold on, buddy.
Is it 6 o'clock?
Yes, I only write down people's names that I'm having conversations with personally. And then from, what does she have on her?
Well, she was putting lipstick on, going,
You should bring her to me.
She
My daughter is pink all over her face.
was humming and they're going,
I'm glad I can be comedy for you guys. Look at, show everyone your pretty pink lips. My lip gloss. Yeah, it's so pretty. Oh, you're so pretty. Yeah, you're everybody's favorite, really. That's why they watch any of my videos. Can you wave? Okay. Oh, organization. Okay. The 30 Worthy thing. I want to go back and look at that. I really like that for organization of daily tasks personally. And I put the Canva link in there if you guys want to change it at all. If you're newer, you've probably never seen it. But look up 30 Worthy in our Health Patriot Coach collaboration. And I did like a health challenge titled that, but I also did a business one. And again, I think I'm going to go back to that. It's similar to the business activity tracker. Is anyone into the business activity tracker supplied by Beachbody? I can never, I'll just tell you, I know that the things work, and I don't know if it's the colors or whatever, but I'm just horrible at being consistent with that one. But I like, it's basically reformatted in that 30 Worthy one. So anyways, have some kind of tracking system, and only you can answer that question, everyone, of what works best for you. Apparently we're done. Apparently. Yeah. And I think I answered all those. Is there any questions further about this topic or anything we talked about?
Just real
I don't
quick.
have any. Oh,
Go ahead. Sorry.
oh, you're good. No, if you have a question, you go. And then
I
I
would
was,
say just real quick, has anybody ever, I know like Teamsy was a thing, but then I saw this YouTube on like somebody who used Trello to basically make the same as the Teamsy. And I thought it sounded grand, but again, it's like an Excel spreadsheet. Like, are you gonna have to learn it and make it? And then are you really gonna use it? So I just wanted.
I've paid for Teamsy. I've paid for another similar thing called My Connection Builder. I've done like what Jessica said and started a gazillion different spreadsheets, and I have still struggled to go back to them. I think pen and paper, and it's going to be different, I think, for everyone, but I think pen and paper is the way to go for me. And I think the most important thing is don't keep like hopping around and starting all these different things, because I've done that a lot. And you put all this time and energy to setting up Teamsy or setting up whatever, and then I don't even use it, and then I try something different that's really the same and expect it to like somehow work. I don't know.
I'm there with you there, 100%. I wanted to show you guys on that topic. Yeah, can you bring that to me, please, real quick? Don't burn the house down with that candle. So I told you there's so many real estate parallels with like growing a real estate business and growing a Beachbody business. Well, I just made this binder that for real estate. Okay, so get down. That I think could really work for Beachbody too, and I just haven't got there yet. But so I got a binder, and it has 3 dividers in it. So again, this is for real estate. So one of them has a cold lead section where I have these forms that my mom made that I'm reformatting, that I think having a lead form, like I don't know what we would call it in Beachbody, but in real estate, we get cold leads. And Beachbody, we kind of do too, to where you could literally have an information sheet about each person, where even if it was a half sheet, where you write their name and any like their contact information, where you found them, like any pertinent information to who they are and what they need, what their goals are, what their interests are. And then it's going to go into the cold leads section. And then once they you start developing a relationship, or they ask you about Beachbody, I will move them to the middle, which is nurture. It's essentially the same. But I'll move them to the middle. And then once they're ready to get started, they're ready to go, then I move them to the front. And there's kind of this weekly, I pick this up once a week, and I go and I follow up with all the nurture people and just check in with them and how are they doing. And we're going to have a follow-up section to this call series, but I liked the idea that it's tangible and it's organized, and you don't lose people because you're doing more quality than quantity, essentially. Again, this would look different for a Beachbody business because we have such a smaller price point than a house. So you're going to be talking with more people. But yeah, Sarah Holland, if your brain does anything with that, and if you like that and you're like, hey, that could work, let us know, because this is your bread and butter. Organization is not, as you know, with my never ending laundry pile, that is not my forte. James, did you have something?
I was basically just going to tell you thank you. That's all, because your life is chaotic and you put together these team calls every week, and I just super appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, I love you guys, and I believe in each and every one of you, and I know together we could do big things. All right, you guys, I'm gonna let you go. Sorry, I went over a little bit. Don't forget to order your team shirts. Thank you, Sarah Lopez, for putting it in the chat thread. It's in our team page, and don't forget to share it with your people. I think they're very cool. A lot of people are gonna like them. Okay, talk to you later, guys. Bye.